Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Popping Culture, episode 39. I'm Adrian,
And I'm Jay.
and I'm a little disappointed with myself.
Only a little?
Well, for this reason alone.
Okay,
For
yeah.
for my life choices in general, a lot of it.
Yeah.
For my beer choices today,
For literally selling out.
oh my god, I almost don't want to drink it.
I mean, we've got other stuff in the fridge if you want to swap it out.
I know I don't want to drink that. So what we have in front of us is the third annual Stone Brewery collaboration Woot Stout. Now the big sigh is because one of the three guys on the cover, Drew Curtis, I'm fine with. Greg Kayach, fine with. Will Wheaton. I don't like Will Wheaton, Jay.
I know you don't like
I
Will
think I've
Wheaton.
made I don't know if I've aired it on this podcast or not before. If you thought I didn't like Buffy, like compared to my feelings on Will Wheaton, I am a huge Buffy fan. I don't know what they're called. Buffyites? Buffy followers?
I don't know.
Buffinians?
I'm sure they're Buffalo.
Oh, yeah. Compared to that, I'm a Buffalo. But I walk into Special Brews, and they're like, "You here for your Woot Stout?" I'm like, "Sure am." And they're like, "No, seriously, try it." So we are going to seriously try it.
Yeah. Which I have no problem with. I don't have an issue with Will Wheaton.
I know. And like, here's the thing. Everything about this beer is something I would like.
Yeah, right?
Like, so let's read the back.
Okay.
In celebration of the third brewing of the annual offering, we added to the mix a version of last year's vintage that we then aged in bourbon barrels for a year.
Yeah, I'm hearing nothing wrong with that.
Right? Like, had I not read the Will Wheaton part, I'd probably be like, this is the greatest beer I've ever had in my life. And instead, it's tarnished.
I hope you really enjoy it just to spite your...
I would cut off my nose to spite my face. So imagine what I would do if I liked this beer. Oof.
I
I would even call Will. No, I wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't. Fuck that guy.
You may call him out on Twitter. Be like, get your name off of that amazing beer.
Right?
There's like no foam to this beer.
Yeah, there's no head. I think it's because it's a vintage age off
Maybe.
of an old barrel.
Maybe.
That or I've perfected that art of pouring.
Nope.
I didn't think so either.
It's got a nice scent to it. The aroma. You didn't even get a full... You want some of this? 'Cause you didn't
No,
even
it's
get a full
okay.
glass.
What the hell? Is this not...
It's like an 18.9 ounce bottle.
I bet you it's going to be some bullshit like that. Doesn't say.
No, because they know people...
1.6 fluid ounces. You sons of bitches. It's not even a full 22.
Yeah, no.
No.
1.6 ounce?
That's 18 ounces.
A pint is 16 ounces.
Pounds 12 in reference to bottles like this. I'm pretty sure.
I don't
You're
think
thinking
so.
16 pint. I'm pretty sure it's... All right. It doesn't matter.
Either way.
I'm glad you had the more than I did. Let's try it. Well, Jay, I'm happy to say I don't like it.
Yeah, that's not...
No, sir. And I'm glad you got the bigger portion of it now.
I don't know what that flavor is.
Well, Will Wheaton, fuck you, buddy. Moving on.
I'm glad I don't clean this place.
So,
Okay, cool. So it's been a week since we've been here, right? We were here last week.
we were not here last week.
No, it was last week we weren't here.
Last week we weren't here. I was in San Diego for the Comic-Con.
Right, but we recorded Tuesday last week, right?
No, we sure didn't, buddy. We had a week off, I believe.
Are you sure?
I'm almost positive. Weird. It feels like we should have, but I don't think we did. Well, now I'm second guessing myself.
No, because I think yeah, we did. Because we came on Tuesday and said there was no new books. We hadn't read any new books. We were here last week. I swear.
It does not feel like a week. Oh. Well, this is just an embarrassing. Can we just start all over?
Yeah, let's glue the bottle back together.
Okay, I'm gonna get right on that.
Okay,
all right,
cool.
all right. Let's
Anyways, whatever.
Let's talk about better things.
You had a trip this last week. Let's talk about your trip.
San Diego Comic-Con. For those of you who haven't been, it is not the nation's largest Comic-Con anymore, as far as attendance is considered. Right. That's New York. But it is the big one. in terms to pop culture being released, information being dispersed, movie trailers. Like, it is a huge pop culture event. And it's a huge pop culture event that is no longer a Comic Con.
No.
And it is not a Comic Con in any sense of the word. I was there, and I was fortunate enough to have a exhibitor badge, which got me in the door whenever I pleased. So I actually went a couple hours before the show started, so I could see all the really cool displays, because the displays are epic, and the setups are amazing. Like, Marvel's booth is super simplistic, but it's really cool.
Okay.
Like, Legendary's booth is always awesome.
Right.
You know, there's no comics to be sold, though.
Yeah, and that's weird.
And the comics that are being sold are of one of two kinds. One, you either have the popular trade paperbacks that are out right now, like Spider-Gwen and Captain Marvel, or you have the rare vintage comics.
Right.
The Tales of Suspense 518, those books. There are no long boxes to look through to fill my collection.
Which, to me, it's not a Comic-Con if you don't have that.
This is how I feel about it also.
Yeah.
There is an artist alley. There's an artist alley, and then a bunch of artists just buy booth space and
Okay.
set up in a booth.
Okay.
So that way they have more room to, to hawk their wares. But it bothers me that I can't buy comic books. Like, I went in with a list, as I do to most Comic Cons I go to. These are the holes in my collection I'm looking to fill.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun for me to spend a couple of hours, if not a whole day, thumbing through long boxes, haggling with the vendors, finding a couple of action figures I didn't have, a couple of comics to fill out my collection. That is not to be had here.
Okay.
Every vendor was just pop figures. Nothing but pop figures. That's all there was to it. And I get it. They are the current Beanie Babies. You know what I mean? They are.
Yeah.
They're the current Beanie Babies. But not a comic to be found. Like, it broke my heart. And it's what it's like last year. It was like the year before that. And it's what it's going to be like next year.
So you propose they change their name.
Oh, absolutely.
San Diego Pop Culture Con.
Pop Culture Con, PopCon, I don't know where you want to go with it, but you're no longer Comic Con for sure. And now that you're so vehement that your name is Comic Con, then fucking own up to it. If you want to sue other companies
Right.
for using the phrase Comic Con, then you better be a fucking Comic Con.
Yeah. I would say most of the news that I heard that came out of SDCC this year was TV and movies. I can't think of a single news story I heard that revolved around actual comic books.
Nope. Well, I shouldn't say no. There are some, but they're all small things that really aren't hugely presidential. So you heard some news. We saw a couple trailers.
Right.
Let's start with Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice.
I am 1,000 times more excited about this movie than I was after the first trailer.
Okay.
I think that the problem I had with the first trailer, the teaser trailer, was that you got this one narration. You kind of didn't have any idea what was happening. You just saw some images of Batman and Superman. This one, you get more of some background on why Batman may be going after Superman and vice versa. The opening scene of the trailer, you see Superman's laser vision just cutting through a downtown building and just it collapses on people. And then you see the side of the building that says Wayne on it. So that was interesting.
I'm going to correct you right off the bat, buddy.
Okay.
What you witnessed was not Superman's heat vision. You witnessed Zod's heat vision. You witnessed the Battle of Metropolis. So, for those of you who have watched Man of Steel,
Okay.
you remember when Superman and Zod are fighting, and Zod first gets his heat vision, and he can't control it, and it's going through all these buildings. He puts a hole. Superman steps back. He punches Superman through all the parking lot, and the building cuts in half, falls down, and the parking lot crumbles.
Okay, so I knew it was that fight. I guess I thought it was
Nope.
the other way. Okay.
It was very much Zod. Now, what happened after that fight, after the parking lot, Superman flies up. And that's where, remember the scene where Bruce Wayne is staring up in the rubble holding the child?
Yes.
That's the scene where Superman's looking down at him.
Okay.
So there's the initial correlation. We find out Bruce Wayne was at the Battle of Metropolis. And that's the scene you're talking about.
Yeah. So, but no, I just thought this trailer shows a lot more footage from the actual movie, and it made me more excited. It definitely amps up the intensity of it a little bit. There's like a fruit fly. Just sorry, I know you guys can't see that, but it keeps like landing on my microphone and then flying back off. So
we're both just off topic. And
yeah,
random
yeah,
today.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
So,
Okay.
so that was my thoughts on this trailer. I don't know how your reaction to it was.
When I initially saw it, I was super excited,
Okay.
and then I watched it a second time,
Okay.
and I was like, okay, I'm kind of on board now. Then I watched it the third time, and the problem is, as I started to watch it, I started to see things I didn't see before,
Okay.
and two of them made me really excited, and everything else I started to be like, wait a minute, that's dumb. The Robin costume.
Yes.
I fucking went crazy at the Robin costume with the Joker spray paint on it.
Okay. Which Robin costume is that though?
I gotta go with Jason Todd.
That's kind
I have
of
to assume Jason
it
Todd.
would make the most sense.
Yep.
Because it's talking about it's the Joker spray paint, so it leads you to assume that Joker took out whoever this was. And the only one he's really taken out that was a Robin was Jason Todd.
It was Jason Todd. Now, obviously, with the Batman, they can incorporate his history so easily. All the Robins, not a problem.
Right.
So that I got super excited by.
Okay.
I did not get excited at Desert Storm Batman. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, it's Batman in the desert fighting off people in clearly desert survival gear. And I'm sure it has something to do with the movie.
Right.
It reminded me of those toys when we were young. So remember the action figure was Batman, and then you get like Arctic Batman and Desert Batman.
Oh,
You're
absolutely.
like, why would I ever use Desert Batman? Oh, well, Zack Snyder clearly used Desert Batman.
Well, but
when
he
was
stole
growing up.
the idea from Batman versus the Al Qaeda from a couple years ago.
Jihad Batman?
No, that was an actual comic.
Shut up.
It never came out. It was announced. DC announced it. It went into early production, and then they realized, oh no, we probably shouldn't do that.
You think?
I want to say it was 2008, 2009.
Did Christian Bale really capture Osama bin Laden?
Right?
Oh my! Thank you, Mr. Bale. So I was kind of down on that. I cannot stand Jesse Eisenberg's hair.
No, and I'm like, I know obviously you see stories early on in the Lex Luthor mythos where he had hair.
I'm fine with him having hair. I'm not fine with him looking like fucking Carrot Top or Sean
Right.
White.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that is
Give him like the Alexander Luthor hair.
Give him just a haircut, like a normal human haircut. Sean White looks ridiculous, so that kind of irritated me. Overall, obviously, no matter what, I'm gonna see the film.
Right.
No matter how great the trailers can be, how horrible the trailers can be, I'm gonna watch the film.
Yeah.
We did watch another trailer about 10 minutes ago, Suicide Squad.
Yes. And I told you,
Just let it go, man.
I'm just worried it's going to land in my beer.
Just
And
drink it then. It's not gonna make the
I
beer
was
any
gonna
worse.
So I had heard a lot of hype about this. I had heard a lot of people saying it was the best trailer to come out of Comic-Con.
Lies.
And I had mentioned that to you, and you're like, no, not at all.
Not even close.
And I hadn't watched it yet. So we watched it, and I would say, yeah, this was shit. This is one mess of a fucking movie.
Yes.
They've totally changed characters. I told you, I was like, is Harley Quinn just supposed to be the main character from Lollipop Chainsaw?
Essentially she is.
She is.
Yeah.
She just replaced the chainsaw with a baseball bat, but same costume, same makeup,
Same makeup. I don't understand also the obsession.
with the tattoos.
The Joker and the Harley Quinn tattoos.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
The only thing
Like she has rotten tattooed across her face and
the only thing that I could say about the Joker tattoos is that it reminds me a lot of the All-Star Batman and Robin Joker, which I don't know if you read that series.
Sure.
He had tons of tattoos. That's the only time that I know that that's ever been the case. So why did they go with that?
how do you feel about the grill?
Yeah. I don't think grills should ever be used in any way, shape, or form in real life horror movies. So
What about can you give Lil Wayne a pass?
no,
Let it go, man.
it's like in my face now.
Well, yeah, because now you're thinking about
Right?
it. I wouldn't care. I probably drank a beer and then whatever. Anyways, so yeah, Suicide Squad did not look great. Please YouTube these as we're after you're done watching this, so you can kind of see what we're talking about, and they are no bueno.
No.
The one that I have no complaints about whatsoever is the Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Okay. I have not watched that one.
They didn't release a new trailer; they released a behind the scenes
Okay.
compilation.
Okay.
and it shows all the sets are real.
Oh,
So the Millennium Falcon that's in the desert is a full scale. They built a full scale. And obviously it's not metal and it's not like automated, but it is a full scale Millennium Falcon. The TIE fighter that's down in the sand, full scale.
okay.
They're using animatronic masks. Like someone has on a huge mask and it's his head ends here, but like the mask is here and its mouth moves. Like it is animatronic. It is awesome. Real sets, real design. Even used real film.
Oh, wow.
They even recorded on film.
Jeez.
So I am.
How are they going to get all the lens flares in there?
I don't think they are.
Okay.
Like, especially at the part where they're running through the desert and then there's an explosion. It's an actual explosion. Like, I'm super stoked for this.
So I was at the gym over the weekend on Sunday, and the gym I go to has, I think I told you, they have what they call the Evo Cinema.
Yeah, the cardio lounge.
Yeah, so they've got the movies playing while you're doing your cardio. And when I go in there, it was the last half hour of episode 3, and then I stayed for the first half hour.
The best half hour of episode 3.
Right. And I forgot how brutal that last scene is.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Like when he just bursts into flames, I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But so, like I said, then I stayed through the credits and they restarted it, and there's that opening scene where, like the opening scene.
I know which one you're talking about.
It's that the space battle. Yeah. So many lens flares in that scene, and I didn't realize that because it'd been a while since I watched it. But I know when they announced that, is it Zack Snyder? No, not Zack Snyder.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams was gonna do the one of the Star Wars movies, and they were joking around like, "Oh, there's gonna be so many lens flares." I'm like, George Lucas had tons of lens flares in Episode 3.
Yeah,
because it was the cool thing to do.
It's not. It's not the cool thing to do.
At the time, it was the popular thing to do.
It doesn't make it right, man.
No, not at all. But, okay, so Star Wars behind the scenes was good.
Fantastic.
Did you catch anything else while you're down there? Did you watch any of the panel videos since you've been back?
I can't stand the shaky cam, some dude's cell phone. I wanted to watch the Deadpool one.
Okay.
I tried twice. I just couldn't get through it.
Okay.
They're going to release it, I think, within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll watch it then. Like, I guess I can't fathom showing up Friday morning to get into a Saturday afternoon panel that you're not even guaranteed to get into.
No.
Because once you get in panel in Hall H, you don't have to leave.
Right.
So you're standing around hoping that someone else might leave to watch the same thing I watched in my hotel room in air conditioning on my tablet.
Yeah.
Because the line to Hall H is outside.
Right.
So
It's
no,
ridiculous.
no thank you.
I watched, and if any of you guys have an extra hour and a half to kill, I watched the DC TV panel. Somebody recorded that and threw it up on YouTube.
How was it?
It was good. So they talked about Arrow and Flash.
Sure.
And
Legends.
I always want to say Heroes of Tomorrow. Legends of Tomorrow. And Gotham and Supergirl. And those are all shows that I'm going to be watching. So I was interested to see what they've got going on this next season. You don't care about Arrow, right?
I do not care about Arrow.
So with the way that this last season ended, it kind of made it so that Ollie can't be the Arrow, like the vigilante Arrow anymore.
Okay.
So there was all these things where after the season finale, he was like, I'm not wearing the Arrow costume ever again. So they were the big reveal at Comic-Con was he's now the Green Arrow.
Right.
So the whole tone of this show is going to kind of shift into more of the Green Arrow stuff, which is less dark and gritty. And, I think he's going to get some of like the trick arrows in there and things like that now.
So they finally come to terms that the Stephen Amell dark gritty Arrow just doesn't work.
I don't think they could sustain it. I
No.
think that's what it was. And, that's fine.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, again, like you said, I'm going to watch all those shows regardless.
Yeah.
The same with like the movie trailers. I'm going to watch all these things.
Right.
I'm watching Ant-Man this weekend.
Yeah.
And I have to sit through an hour-long panel to convince me to do it.
no. The Flash is going to be on Earth 2 in the beginning of the new season.
Yeah. Jay
So,
Garrick has been announced.
Jay
Well, we
Garrick
saw his
and Wally
helmet.
West. Yeah. So they've confirmed that we're going to be starting on Earth 2. And this is the thing that's confusing to me. And I've never been huge into the Flash universe, so maybe I'm just misunderstanding this. So the big bad in season 1 ended up being Reverse Flash, Eobard
Right.
Thawne. The big bad in season 2 is
Prof-
Zoom.
Professor Zoom.
I always thought that was the same person. I thought it was just different names for the same character.
It was before DCNU.
Okay.
DCNU, Reverse Flash, and Professor Zoom are now two different people.
Both in yellow costumes?
No. In DCNU, the Reverse Flash is in black.
Okay.
He's actually Iris West's brother.
Oh, good.
And then Professor Zoom is Eobard Thawne.
Okay. What? Okay. That's
Yeah, just ride it out, buddy.
okay.
Ride it out.
Cool. So did you have anything else to talk about from San Diego or?
I didn't. Like, unfortunately, I love Comic Cons. I just don't love this Comic Con.
Right.
Like, you can't walk anywhere. You can't do anything. You can't see anything. Like, you are literally a herd of cattle. And if everyone's moving one direction, to fight that herd to get into
Right.
like a side vendor
Yeah.
or go in the other direction, it's just too difficult.
Yeah.
I hate to sound like that guy. It's just not worth it. San Diego is not worth going to.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I've appreciated about Emerald City Comic Con is it hasn't always been that bad. Although the last couple of years, with the numbers going up and up and up and up, it's starting to get that way.
And unfortunately, I think most of your large Comic Cons are.
Yeah.
It's becoming huge in and
Mainstream.
thank you,
Yeah.
mainstream. It's becoming the thing to do. People are interested. And on the one hand, I love what that does for the industry.
Right.
I love that it's a sustainable injury. What I don't like is that now, for people who are you and me, I don't want to go anymore.
No.
Like, I'm kind of tapping out of cons.
Although I am excited, and I sent you a message about this a couple days ago. I'm going to Emerald City this year as an attendee for the first time in 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm not working at the con, so I'll actually get to be. And this will be the first con. I've been to like 12 or 15 cons in the last couple of years. This will be the first one that I've gone to in the last 3 years that I'm not working.
That you get to attend.
Yeah. And I'll be like, oh, there's a panel that I can go watch? Fantastic.
So let me ask you, I'll ask you one question, then we'll kind of move on.
Okay.
Are you going to wait in the 3-hour line to get into the show? Or are you just going to show up an hour after the show starts and walk right in?
I have no reason to be there when the doors open.
That's same way. All right, good for you, man.
Yeah.
Good for you. Let's move
Okay.
on to movies really
Okay.
fast.
What have you watched?
I tried to watch one movie, and it was so bad I tapped out.
Okay.
Wild, starring Reese Witherspoon.
Okay. Yeah.
So Jess and I tried to watch it together.
This is Reese Witherspoon and the Colombian girl, right?
Maybe? I think-
Sofia Vergara?
No.
No.
It's not a comedy whatsoever.
Oh,
It is a Fox Searchlight indie movie.
okay. This isn't the one I was thinking of.
No, I know which one you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Where Reese Witherspoon's husband or fiance, I couldn't get that far, had an affair. Her mother died, and she went out to go on this 1,000-mile hike to find herself.
Oh, got it. Yep. No, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
So Jess and I were going to watch it, and we started it. And I'm kind of looking through IMDb and some of the scenes and what was going on. I'm like, I don't think you're going to like this movie as much as you think you will. And she's like, that's fine. We can turn it off. Because you can tell she did not care.
Yeah.
We were maybe 5 minutes in. But I wanted to see it. I was intrigued by it.
Okay.
20 minutes in, I'm like, so my rule is if I'm not interested in 20 minutes, I'm out.
Yeah.
And sure enough, like, I kept checking my clock. I'm like, is it 20 minutes yet? Is it 20 minutes yet?
It's only been 12
Is it 20
seconds. Yeah.
Tapped out. I could not stand that movie.
Okay.
It was boring. It was slow. The dialogue was weak. Like, nothing about that movie captivated me in the first 20 minutes, or at least piqued my interest enough to keep going. The only thing that I could possibly say about it is you have a somewhat okay body double where you see topless. And even that, I'm just like, that is feh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I tried to watch Wild and I just couldn't get through it.
Okay.
That is my only movie.
Okay. I had a decent week for movies this week. Part of it was because I've been going to the gym more. I've
Okay.
been going to the Evo Cinema more. So, rewatched Big Lebowski
Okay.
because why not?
Does it hold up?
Oh yeah, it's a great movie.
Does it hold up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've now started a thing at work. So my manager and I go to the gym together. So in that movie, there's a lot of times where, oh, what is the bigger guy's name? The one that was married to Roseanne. Dan Arnold? No.
No,
No, I don't. I got nothing.
I know who you're talking about. Go
The one
ahead.
that was on Roseanne. Anyways.
Yes, John Goodman.
John, there you go. So he'll say something really just crazy and out there that's not necessarily wrong, but just what the fuck are you even saying? But then people react and he's like, am I wrong? And they're like, well, no. So now that's the thing. Like, I'll just make up these weird, just off the wall, like, am I wrong? No, but.
All right, then.
So that's fun. So Big Lebowski, like I said, Star Wars. At home, I watched Perfect Age of Rock and Roll.
What?
Sounds weird. So here's the premise. There's these two friends that grew up together playing music, and one of them took their demo tape, went off to LA on his own, put out what was regarded as the best rock album of all time. Sophomore album was shit. So he comes back home looking for this guy to help him make a third album. And the guy's like, I'll do it, but on one condition. We take the road trip that we always said we were going to across Route 66 and just play concerts in small venues the whole way. So they do it, and the whole thing's told documentary style. So the guy that made the big album is being interviewed for like Rolling Stone or something like that. And he's telling this story of why the third album never happened. So it's kind of a cool movie if you're really into music and stuff like that, because you kind of get to see some of the behind the scenes stuff. The movie ends with them just getting a huge fight, and the third album never happened. And it's this elusive third album that was never made.
So, who's it starring, if you don't mind me asking?
The only person that I recognized from, Jason Ritter, John Ritter's son,
Okay.
is the musician that didn't make it big.
Okay.
So he's the one that stayed at home. And then I didn't recognize anybody else in the movie except Amy Teagarden has a very small role. And if you don't know who that is, did you ever watch Friday Night Lights?
No.
Okay. Then
But I
you
know
would-
who it is.
Okay.
Now, I was more into this movie until you said Jason Ritter, and that actually makes me less into watching this movie.
He was actually really good in this movie.
Because I always see him on all the Comedy Central shows, like
Yeah.
I talked about, Drunk History and Another Time or Another Period or whatever. Not a huge fan.
No, he's actually really good in this. He plays just a guy from the Midwest that loves playing music. He's super
Okay.
into like blues, and they wind up in this weird blues bar out in the middle of nowhere. It's obviously full of all these black people, and the friend's like, "No, my friend here is like a really good blues musician." And everyone's like, "Yeah, prove it." And I get up there and they do some cool music. So good
Okay.
movie.
I'll check it out.
I also watched a movie called Beautiful Wave. I don't really recommend that one. It ended up being kind of boring.
Okay, well, we'll
So-
pass that.
Yeah.
I don't want to skip over TV. I have nothing because of the break.
Okay. What did I watch? I finished season 2 of Robin Hood, the BBC version.
Oh,
Um,
any good?
it's still all right. I mean, it's still kind of that cheesy BBC whatever
All
show. And then we started watching Mad Men again last night because we only ever got a season and a half into that, and we watched 2 more episodes last night. And I think we're hooked again.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, like I said, I have no TV. I did not have a chance to get to comic store today.
Okay.
You also did not have a chance to get your comics today.
No.
But we will talk about last week's comics real fast.
Okay.
And I actually am not going to talk about last week's comics necessarily. Issue 2 of Starfire came out last week.
Oh.
I picked up issue 1 and 2 and read them.
Okay.
I like and I don't like it at the same time.
Okay. Remind me who the creative team on this is. Is this Palmiotti?
Palmiotti and Connor. So I like Palmiotti and great stuff because it's a little more dark, a little more strange.
Right.
I like Connor because she livens it up a little bit. And the whole thing is, it is very much Starfire trying to figure out how to be a person.
Okay.
The very first very first issue, there was no villain in it. There was no, all that happened is they're on the coast. She's finding a place to live. She has to figure out how to spend money. She has all these Targaryen jewels at some jeweler boss. She has a couple $1,000s. So she is renting out a trailer by the beach and a tidal wave hurricane is hit.
Okay.
Second issue, they're dealing with the hurricane. She's gotten very close with the sheriff, who's trying to help her figure out how to be a person and not, some crazy superhero kind of thing. And that has pretty much been it.
Okay.
Like very, very down to earth, very much like this girl trying to figure out how to be a person with these powers. Either they stay true to Starfire, where she is very open about her sexuality. She's very open about nudity. She's a warrior. Like, she doesn't understand these concepts to you. Like, she's like, why do I have to wear clothes? There are no elements I need to hide my body from. Why do I need clothes on? Like, I'll wear clothes to combat the elements.
Right.
So they kept true to that character. She's not as overtly sexual as she was in Red Hood and the Outlaws.
So she doesn't sleep with 2 guys in 3 pages on this one?
Right. She
Okay.
definitely did not go that far.
Okay.
So I kind of want to see where it's going. I'm interested enough to keep going.
Okay.
The book I'm even more interested in is Archie.
Wow. I didn't think I'd ever hear that on this show.
Curveball from that one. I picked
Yeah.
up Archie #1,
Okay.
written by Mark Waid, art by Fiona Staples.
I didn't realize that Mark Waid was writing Archie now.
So brand new.
Nobody wants that guy, right?
How dare you? He's doing the Daredevil, the Eisner Award-winning Daredevil.
Yeah. Which I still have not read any of.
I know. So Archie is obviously breaks the fourth wall.
Right.
He knows that you're reading his story and he's explaining things to you. Read the first issue. Really liked it. Like, a lot. Like, I thought I would pick it up to just be like, meh. And I'm all like, I want to read issue 2. Jughead's getting his own series too. All right, yeah, I'm down for both those on my pull list.
Nice. Are
Like,
you going to get Betty and Veronica when it comes out too?
if it keeps being as good as Archie is, you're damn right I am. You're damn right I am.
You're ditching DC for
Archie is
Archie,
an
I
independent
guess.
publisher.
I
Yeah,
was
they
gonna say
publish.
Archie is just the name of the comic.
Archie is
Yeah.
publishing. Look,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna ditch DC. I love my characters too much. Really liked Archie though.
Which, okay, so Black Circle Comics, which has the Black Hood that I was reading a couple months ago, imprint of Archie.
Yes.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like Riverdale or like drug abusing cop vigilante.
You know,
it's all the same house.
It's funny you say that because while I was at San Diego, they had a big advertisement for that.
Okay.
I'm like, well, Dwayne Surinsky writes it, and I really
Yeah.
like his stuff. Well, I like his indie stuff a lot.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm all like, if he's here, I'll see if I can find the first trade, the first issues, and get him to sign it. At the booth, all they had was the latest issue.
Oh.
No trades available, no back issues. I couldn't find the trade. And then I found out he's not even there to sign it anyways.
Oh,
so,
that's crappy.
again, not a
Good.
Comic-Con.
Good job, San Diego.
Assholes. Cost yourself money with Black Circle, Red Circle,
Black
Dark Circle.
Black Circle.
Yeah, that thing. What have you read?
What did I read last week? Savior. Have I talked about Savior yet?
No.
Okay. So Savior's coming out. I want to say it's by Image. I think I'm on issue 3 now. There's a plane crash in the Midwest, and lots of people died. But there's a reporter in town to cover the story, or she was in town when the plane crash happened, and she happens to see out of a cornfield just some guy walking out of the cornfield with the body of this little girl. She's like alive. He found her. He got her to safety or whatever. But he doesn't remember anything about his past. Can't figure out who he is. He's trying to avoid the media, so he's like hiding out in the cornfields. She happens to find, in this latest issue, she happens to find him. And he tells her he can't remember anything that happened before the plane crash. He doesn't remember being on the plane. But he knows that there's things that happened to him that cause him to lose his memory. So he's trying to find a notebook where he writes everything down in. And she's like, no, it's okay. I'll take care of you. And she goes, touch him. He's like, no, don't touch me. And she touches him. And they both transport somewhere else. And that's like the end of the issue. So everybody, the first issue took place at a certain point, and then it was like 6 months ago. And now we're filling in the previous 6 months.
Oh.
So when the series started, everybody's hailing him as a savior and saying like he's essentially like the new modern Jesus. He's there to save people, and it's a miracle and all this stuff. So now you're learning all the stuff that happened up until that point. And in issue 1, she's like, he's not a savior, he's a fake, whatever. and you're learning all the backstory. It's kind of interesting. Like I said, I think it's only like 3 issues in, but I like I was saying a couple weeks ago, a lot of the indie stories I was reading have ended now. Like Alex and Ada, The Kitchen ended, The Names ended. So I picked this one up to fill one of those empty slots.
May I suggest indie book Archie?
I may check it out.
I'm not even joking.
I'm curious to see how Mark Waid does. So,
okay.
Yeah.
That is it for me.
Yeah, that's it for me also.
We'll be back next week at a regular time. We'll probably be a little bit more of a cohesive episode after this thing. Will be in a bit of a
and
shamble.
it may be possibly in a new location.
Yeah, we're considering a new location for next week.
So, in the meantime, don't drink Woot
Dude,
Stout.
don't drink Woot Stout.
Don't do it. And damn you, Will Wheaton.
This is just more reason. This is another notch on my I don't like Wheaton. Like, it's time to start some sort of social media campaign about this.
To be fair, at least it wasn't like Will Wheaton's Wheat Ale.
Oh, Will Wheaton weaponizing? We're just going to keep doing Will Wheaton puns. Good night, guys.
See ya.